Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andres Leon. I'm the manager of the Acceleration Program for Startups of the Innovation Center at the City of Knowledge Foundation, Panama. Very briefly, in this presentation, I've prepared a short objective so you have the general idea of what I want to convey here. So the objective for today is to share the benefits of the entrepreneurial scenario in Panama and what is the Innovation Center of the City of Knowledge Foundation doing to promote it. So the main agenda of this whole presentation are three main aspects. The first one is what are the business opportunities in Panama, in City of Knowledge, and in the Innovation Center at City of Knowledge. So the first point I want to approach is Panama, of course. And for this, I know there's a lot of information in the internet you can access at any time. However, I just want to highlight some key aspects, some key indicators about Panama. So Panama has a population of 3.7 million people. It generates a GDP of around approximately $40 billion, and that's a GDP per capita of almost $11,000. It has a very interesting unemployment rate of 4%. And something that is very interesting to know is that the Global Competitive Index has ranked us second as the second most competitive country in Latin America. However, we still have a long way to go worldwide since we are ranked 48. However, it's very interesting to see that that the GDP is $40 billion. Panama has had a 5-year compound annual growth of 8.6%. In this slide that you will be able to see, we presented six important economies in the world, and we compared the GDP growth and stability. So Panama has gained a lot of recognitions in the past years. Part of them are the hub of the Americas, the logistic and transportation hub with the Panama Canal outstanding growth, and also the expansion of the Panama Canal that is occurring right now. We have the Colón Free Zone. And it's interesting to note here that the Colón Free Zone is the second biggest in the world after Hong Kong. Also, we've gained recognition on terms of aerial hub. We connect basically America, the main capitals of America here, and also we've been gaining new progress in terms of connecting Europe through Panama. It's interesting to know that the telecommunication, we also been called as the telecommunication hub. We have 5 fiber optic submarine cables for telecommunications passed through the Panama, and this definitely provides the country with reliable connectivity on the long term. Another recognition that the Panama has been denoted is the financial investment hub. Panama has been ranked number 2 in the Western Hemisphere for soundness of banks. It has been ranked position number 2 in the world for affordability of financial services, and it has also been ranked number 1 in the Western Hemisphere for availability of financial services. In this slide, as you can see, these are the countries that Panama has free trade agreements. It's very interesting to know this, and of course, free trade agreements make business easier, makes business better, less barriers. And if you can see the population of the countries that we've made free trade agreements, and you sum that up, it means that startups, companies, people that look for Panama as an HQ, as a place to grow a business, can have a total access to a market of over 1 billion people. And this is very interesting. It's a great place to start and a great place to grow. So before going to the next topic, some final key insights about Panama. We definitely have a very open and flexible immigration regulation. Panama is a very safe country. You can definitely go out at night without worrying. If you're a Panamanian or you're foreign, you can open a business in less than a week. And all this information makes Panama the best financial, telecommunicational, logistics platform for startups in the whole Western Hemisphere. It's very interesting to know this. Other statistics that I can share with you about Panama is that Panama has been ranked number 2 in Latin America for one of the most competitive economies. This is Latin America. Number 1 in Latin America for availability of latest technologies. Ranked number 1 in Latin America for air transport facilities. Number 1 in Latin America for financial freedom. Number 1 in the Western Hemisphere for rules governing foreign direct investment. And number 1 in the Western Hemisphere for port facilities. All right, so that's about it about Panama. I just wanted to share with you a general overview about what are the key main things that are going on in the country. I think these are definitely benefits not only for people that want to invest in the country, but also for entrepreneurs that are looking for new places, new markets, growing markets. And this is definitely a good place to start and grow companies, especially for startups. And starting to talk about startups, what's going on? And this goes to the second part of the objective. What is City of Knowledge Foundation through the Innovation Center doing to promote and to help startups deliver their solutions to the world? So basically, we're going now to approach the second point, which is City of Knowledge. Let me give you a quick overview about City of Knowledge. So the story of City of Knowledge began with Fort Clayton. Fort Clayton was established in 1919 by an executive order of the US President Woodrow Wilson. For 9 decades, American soldiers called Fort Clayton their home. Their job primarily was to protect the canal and the southern hemisphere. However, in 1997, due to the Torrijos-Carter Treaty between both nations, Panama and the United States, this treaty allowed the turnover of all the military bases and the surrounding areas in Panama, including Fort Clayton. After the transfer in the year 2000, Fort Clayton was transformed from a military installation into a platform for business, academic, scientific, and humanistic collaboration. This was in search of a human and sustainable development in Panama. So in very briefly, what is that thing we do in City of Knowledge? The City of Knowledge enables innovation and sustainable development by generating, disseminating, and applying knowledge through a network of networks platform. How do we do that? It is important to remind that phrase, a network of network platforms. That's key here. We connect different communities that come from technology of information and communication, biosciences, global services, environmental management, human development, business management, and also entrepreneurship culture. We have this huge community, very diversified, with different talents, different disciplines, different expertise, different knowledge, and we make them be together in one place, sharing and generating more knowledge. And all of this interaction takes place here in the campus of the City of Knowledge. In the following slides, you're going to be able to see different images of the places that we have available for the community to interact. We have conference rooms, we have digital rooms, we have buildings that are provided, that are available for all the community to take place their events, their activities, their networking events. Right, so we know that business doesn't always happen in the office as well. So we have a huge complex with different kind of activities and things you can do to exchange and meet exchange with new people. We have a plaza filled with restaurants to people to have some breakfast, have lunch, have dinner. We also have an auditorium for cultural activities. Maybe it's performing arts or conferences, even movies. We also have a recreational park. We have a basketball court, we have a bowling court, we have a baseball court, we have pools, whatnot. There are a lot of things. We have a gym. So there's facilities for making business, to close deals, to give conferences, but also to make friends, make networks, make ideas happen with strong relationships, build strong relationship with others. I'll invite you to come to the City of Knowledge Foundation website and find out what activities are taking place, what are the activities that we've done in the past, how many people go around the City of Knowledge besides the people that work here. We have over 5,000 people that come in and out every day from the City of Knowledge, and they are connected by all these activities. It's also interesting to know that if you want to come visit the City of Knowledge, if you want to have activities, conferences here in Panama through the City of Knowledge, we also have sustainable lodging facilities to promote community living. You can rent space to stay with your co-workers, with your colleagues. You can stay here and visit the entire campus. We have these facilities for you to live here or to stay for a while. Hopefully you want to stay here. The City of Knowledge being a campus for businesses, NGOs, academics, scientific organizations, private companies, we have definitely interesting benefits for these affiliates that are here working with us. I would suggest you to go to the website and find out more of the benefits. However, here we can see that we offer exemptions from all import duties on machinery, equipment, and other necessary for the company. In the second place, we have exemption from service and personal tangible asset transfer tax, ITBMS, or on machinery, equipment, and others that are necessary for the operations of the company. We have exemptions from any taxes, fees, duties, or levies on overseas money remittance when such money remittance or transfer is done for the purpose of the companies that are accepted by the City of Knowledge. City of Knowledge also grants special visas for researchers, teachers, entrepreneurs, technicians, students, and last one is in labor. The companies inside the City of Knowledge are authorized to hire any international staff necessary for their operations. So there are no limitations on hiring local staff whatsoever. This is basically very important for us because we want to bring outside knowledge to Panama and mix it with the knowledge that we have here and have a variety of talents, disciplines, expertise, and everything. So there are also benefits for the innovative companies added to the ones that I already shared with you. And basically, their activities, operations, transactions, procedures, and transfers of personal and real property, purchase and import of equipment and construction material. There's definitely a lot more magic going on that I can't convey to you through this presentation. I would like to invite you guys to join our website, which is the ciudadelsaber.org. That's the slide, you can see it. And you can put /en, so you can have it in English as well. I would like to invite you guys to see what we're doing. What's that thing we do every day? What are our activities? How is the community sharing? And I think this website will be the best testimony to prove you guys what's going on in the City of Knowledge, not only in terms of benefits for my company, but the benefits are not enough if there's no life here. So we have a huge community interacting through activities, cultural events, many things going on, and this is going to be an interesting testimony for you to get familiar with that thing we do. So the last section of this presentation is about the Innovation Center at the City of Knowledge Foundation. So sustainable development, in a way, is also equal to innovation. What's going on in terms of innovation? Referring to innovation as any new or better way of doing things. The City of Knowledge has innovation as one of its most priorities, and all of our resources, most of our resources, activities, and in general idea, our work goes through the Innovation Center. I'm going to present to you in this slide a short timeline that explains the background of the Innovation Center. So the first steps of the City of Knowledge towards supporting and growing the entrepreneurship spirit in Panama was from the year 2000 to the year 2006. And this was done through an institution that operated as an incubator for ventures, for entrepreneurs. And the main idea was to find these people that had ideas and that wanted to transform those in companies that solve real problems. Basically, in those years, we start learning more than anything about the behavior. How was the Panamanian in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of starting their own company instead of simply just applying to work for another company. That was a huge challenge in those years. And however, most of the experimentation was to bring these entrepreneurs here and interact with them, get to know what are their ideas, and find every possible opportunity, every possible way to help them transform those ideas into something real, into something tangible. With that experience, we later on decided, supporting entrepreneurship is important. However, innovation is crucial. So part of what we belief there is that we should focus and be the institution that primarily promotes innovation in the country. Even our name changed. We went from being an incubator and we went on to be a technological business accelerator focused on technology. However, until this point, most of our way of helping was through coaching, having the entrepreneur very close to us, helping find networks, opportunities. But also something that we realize is that innovation is not just websites, apps, and technology per se. Innovation relies simply on finding new or better way of doing things. So the word technology was something that, in a way, we wanted to change. And in the year 2008, we became the Panama Business Accelerator. And part of our focus was to help create an ecosystem that supports and helps the entrepreneurial spirits from the idea stage to growth. And that was very challenging because at that point you had to involve the government, you had to involve the academic, you have to involve research, corporate institutions, corporate companies, and have them start making entrepreneurship a trending topic. For resources to be created, research to be created. In fact, the Panama Business Accelerator was responsible of developing the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which is one of the most important reports in terms of understanding the aspirations, the behaviors of entrepreneurs in the world. And the Panama Business Accelerator was leading that research in Panama. All right, so between the years 2008 and 2012, the Panama Business Accelerator had two priorities. The first one was to help create and establish an entrepreneurial platform involving the government, investor, private companies, academics, creating this community in favor of the entrepreneurs to help them facilitate go from an idea to a real company and to growth. This was very challenging. This represented, first of all, to understand how we behave here in Panama, who are these entrepreneurs, how they do the things they do, and also what are these institutions doing already, or what their plans in the future to do to help them create this platform. And at the same time, part of our main projects basically were to help Panamanians, locals, and even people from outside were invited in huge workshops where we had 400 people in every workshop around 3-4 times a year, getting familiar with, hey, this is entrepreneurship, it's starting an idea. This is innovation. You can write a business plan. And the business plan, the main things about a business plan is understanding your market, identifying a real pain and transforming and building a solution to that pain. And after the solution, you build a product or a service. Many things that started shaking people's head and changing the chip here in Panama, which was very vital. So from the year 2012 and the year 2013, we can say it was the entrepreneurial ecosystem consolidation. For the first time and for an entire year, all the institutions that support entrepreneurs sat down in the same room to create synergies together in terms of marketing, in terms of communication, in terms of resources. What are you doing and what am I doing? What's my role in the entrepreneurship ladder? And the entire community started working together. And the interesting thing is that we had a community of entrepreneurs involved in those strategies. So it wasn't just about the institutions, it was the entrepreneurs being part of it as well. And that happened between 2012 and 2013. And this was a critical point for us because in a way, as a business accelerator, we became a business accelerator because besides helping ideas, we discovered that our strength was to help entrepreneurs that already had something going on, that already had some traction. And we were an accelerator. So this period was very critical because for us, it meant that we could finally focus on the things that we consider that matters the most for us, which was to create an innovation consciousness and also to support entrepreneurs that already proved that they could move forward onto a certain stage, which was not just an idea, but I already have a prototype. I make it already to this point. Can I grow? Can I establish this? Can it work? And we wanted to focus on that. And from now, we changed from a Panama Business Accelerator to an innovation center. All right, so what are the focal areas? In this slide, you can see the whole picture. First of all, we have the Innovation Center services. So in the City of Knowledge, we have a building that is accessible for companies that, in a way, are doing things differently. We have spaces like cubicles, we have shared offices, we have cafeterias for people to interact and create this innovation community. And the focus of everything is that they, through a space, through communities and activities and events taking place here, we can have interesting collaborations going on and that could, in a way, generate innovation. So this is very crucial for us, but because when you have a community of different disciplines from different countries interacting in one space, magic happens. Maybe this designer got to know. So maybe this designer got to know a programmer, and this programmer met this entrepreneur that had this crazy idea of making the flying machine, and they got together and they built this interesting thing. So another focal area that we have is Canal Empresarias, which is basically a project that seeks to first level the playing field between men entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs in the country, that the rules that they have to face when starting companies and doing the things they have to do are the same for both of them. And the other thing is to definitely promote female entrepreneurs in the country, help them by coaching, help them through mentoring, help them through opportunities and networking to go from an idea to something real and to help them grow outside Panama. All right, so our next to last focal area is the third-party services, and basically it focuses on training people on the tools and skills they need to start their own venture. And this happens through thematic conferences, thematic workshops. But the magic here happens actually when you connect a designer with a lawyer, with an entrepreneur, with someone that has experience in sales, and you connect them in one space and they start exchanging cards and create a bonding, create friendship. However, the mission says it wants to provide the tools so they can jump the barriers, they can move forward, and to avoid stops in their way. But now, the final focal area that we want to elaborate a little bit more is the acceleration program for startups of the Innovation Center. The mission of the program is to help startups. We believe and are committed on helping startups deliver and grow game-changing solutions that matter to the world. This was a little bit cheesy, but I think this is a sentence that truly inspires us to do what we do. And there are three things that we want to highlight here. Let's divide this phrase in three sentences. The first one is help startups deliver and grow. Here we want to share that we're looking for entrepreneurs that already have something and they want to deliver that to the market, and also that they want to grow. The second sentence says game-changing solutions that matter to the world. When we say this, we in a way are referring to entrepreneurs that are approaching to problems or needs that haven't been solved before, or also entrepreneurs that are challenging and changing the solutions that already exists out there. So for us, entrepreneurship is important, but it's even more important for us that they change the rules of the game of the world we know today and create a better version of it. And the last sentence is that matter to the world. 9 out of 10 companies fail in the world, and the main reason why they fail is because, well, they don't generate the revenues they were expected, and they didn't generate those revenues because someone didn't pay, and someone didn't pay because they were not interested in that solution, in that product or services. And why they weren't interested? Because it didn't match the needs or the problems that day-to-day the customer had. So in a way, creating a company is not that hard. You can create a company in less than a week, as we talked before. But creating something that people want is actually the hard part. So that matter to the world is definitely something important to us. Not just an invention, but something someone really desires, someone really wants. And you have to prove us that that's real. It's a pain you're solving, not just a crazy idea that you want to deliver. So the Innovation Center, through the acceleration program, has very important resources to offer to these innovative companies that from now on we're going to refer as startups. And basically, these resources were defined through our experience working with entrepreneurs, and also looking outside in the world. What has other countries done well, and what can we learn from them? And in terms of the mentoring program, we decided to go with the best. We went to MIT in Boston, to the MIT Venture Mentoring Service, and we learned their methodology, their mentoring program, and we worked with them on the creation of this one here in Panama. We brought that here, we adapted it, and we put it to work immediately. So early this year, 2014, we launched our mentoring program, and we can say that we already have our first group of mentors that are willing to give back their time, their efforts, their knowledge to innovators. And this is very interesting. There are people out there that, besides starting companies and growing their companies, they are looking back and saying, I want to help someone that reminds me of me. That's very peculiar. All of our mentors are volunteers. They give back all this time that they don't have to, in teams, advise these entrepreneurs that are selected by us and that are accepted in this program. And this is very interesting. It's a strong community of mentors, and it's going to be growing in the next year. So if you're interested, just don't doubt contacting us. So another resource that we offer is the access to experts. And the main idea surrounding this resource is that entrepreneurs get too distracted finding out what are the legal things I have to do now that I'm starting, how can I hire someone, what are the best practices, or what's the best advice, what can I do, what can't I do, what are the financial things that I have to prepare from day one in order to grow 5 years in the future. And they get distracted in building a company instead of simply building something people want. Getting out of the building, talking to customers, finding out if what they're building actually match a problem, even match if actually the problem really exists, which is a common thing to happen when starting an innovative company. But they get distracted in starting a company instead of building something people want. And that's something we want to help them with this access to experts. So how we do that, we have important companies here in Panama, even private companies, that as their social responsibility, they want to give back their expertise to innovators. And this is quite interesting to them, besides doing all the other things they do. And this is fabulous for us because the community, entrepreneurship, and startups is a trending topic right now in Panama. And it's attracting all the eyes of the institutions and companies. Another resource we have is seed capital, and this is up to 25K, and that's negotiated with the entrepreneur. And this is delivered in a special way we're going to look forward in the next couple slides. The next resource we have is visibility. We, as the Innovation Center and the City of Knowledge Foundation, we have so many activities, events taking place every year, and this is an opportunity of exposure for the entrepreneur. The last one is infrastructure and community. Definitely, we have spaces in our offices that are optional for the entrepreneur if they want them, to have their office and to grow their teams inside with us. Besides all these resources that go from advice to access to experts, the capital, the seed capital, opportunity of visibility, and also the offices and the community, I wanted to share that this program was built with a methodology of it's a pull program. That means that paradigm of having the entrepreneurs very close to you, telling him on Tuesday you have to meet with someone, now you have to do this and that and this and that. That's not real. Entrepreneurs, the real good entrepreneurs operate by they are unstoppable, and they're very focused on the things they're doing. So these resources are accessible for them when they want them. All right, so having all these resources, how do we deliver them? In this slide, you can see we have, in the acceleration program, 2 phases. The first one is called launch, and the second one is the acceleration. And each one of them has their own mission. The mission of the first phase is to help startups nail their problem. This can sound very, what is this? Why nailing the problem if they already have an idea, they already know the problem? You will be surprised. It's incredible how entrepreneurs simply create companies because they have good ideas and are very passionate about them, But at the end, 6 months later, 1 year later, they discover that there are no customers. Customers don't want to pay. Everyone that said it was an incredible idea at the very end say, well, you know, I can't pay this today, or they give them an excuse and they end up closing the company. And this is usually a step most entrepreneurs skip. They jump directly to the product or the service instead of understanding the problem, who is the one suffering the pain, how is their daily habit, their behaviors, how they do what they do, and in detail, what's their problem, how are they living it, or have they already solved it in another way. This phase wants to make the entrepreneurs feel comfortable that they have defined a good direction, a good path to creating a solution. All right, so going more into the detail of this phase one. So help startups nail the problem. What are the inputs? What are we looking for when startups apply through our website? First, basically, as I told you, we are looking for game-changing solutions. They're different. They are approaching a new problem or a need, or they are making something better. And in terms of stage, at what point can I apply? We're basically looking that you already reach at least a first version of the thing you're doing. If it's a tangible product, maybe you have a prototype you haven't launched yet. If it's a service, it's interesting, but usually what we get is that someone wants to build a website, but instead of just building the website, they manually, we call that concierge prototype, and what they do is they go out and interact with customers and simulate the service, and that works very well as a prototype as well. So we at least expect you to have a first version ready to be launched in the market. And through this phase, the resources you get is the mentoring. You receive a team of mentors that are going to be with you and that in a way are going to be your personal psychologist. You're going to be able to tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they will be there for you. They will give you their advice, and you, at the end, you, the entrepreneur, is the one that makes the final decision in everything. And you are the one that executes. You are the one that does the do. So going through this process, remember, with the mentors, and the only resource you receive is the mentors, because your objective here is to understand the problem. What are the outputs that we expect the entrepreneurs to reach at the end of the phase one? The first one is a well-defined problem. We also want to make sure that you understand what's your target market, who are they, and what's their pain. Not just, this is my target market, these guys are very young, they have cell phones, and every day they enter Facebook. No, that's not it. They, every day when they wake up, are living this in this way, and I've been there with them, and they told me their pains. That qualitative, you have qualitative answers to the things you want to approach in terms of knowing who is the one suffering the pain. And also, you want to have a list of specific problems besides just the broad problems. Specific problems. You know what? This is the broad problem I want to solve, but these ones are the specific that right now I can solve. And I'm going to solve them with these 5 solutions. And what we expect to happen, obviously, is to match those specific problems with these specific solutions. There must be a relationship. There must be a relation between them. And the final thing is having this problem defined, this target market, having the specific problems very well defined as well, and the solutions you want to implement. We don't want you to jump directly to building a product or a service. The final thing that we want you to do is, with the help of your mentors, we want you to get out of the building and try to sell this. Maybe a few customers. If your website is of traffic, try to generate some traffic. You don't need 1 million users. You just need maybe 20, 30 customers that you can make truly happy in that website and see if what you're solving is truly what they want. But what we want you to do here basically is to test out all of your assumptions. The problem you think you're solving, the target market, if the target market actually really wants this. So basically you're putting all these tests to assumption, and at the same time, you're going to try to sell this and generate small-scale sales to prove that this is actually something people will pay. Because we want you to be sustainable, to grow worldwide. And so before going to phase 2, something has to happen. All right, let's say I have all this well-defined, I have some small-scale traction, some customers, and now I have demand, and I can't satisfy this. I can't move on with my product. I need to move forward, and I'm stuck here. What happens, to go to phase 2, we try to avoid paperwork, basically. You don't have to apply to long forms or anything. So what happens here is that the mentors that had been there with you all this time, in the good, the bad, and the ugly, are the ones that recommend if you're ready for the next phase. What better way of doing that with those that are very close to you and that know you very well as an entrepreneur and the business. They recommend us your startup for the next phase. We revise, we make an evaluation with the criteria. Have you really accomplished all the outputs that were expected in the first stage before you move on? If we accept you, we enter into a negotiation phase. Since we have other resources, all these other resources, the seed capital, the offices, everything is negotiated with the entrepreneur. And after that negotiation, you go to the second phase of the program, which is the acceleration phase. I was missing an important point, and is that each phase has a duration of up to 8 months. But not necessarily you have to go through the entire 8 months to move forward. That means that maybe an entrepreneur has already more traction than others, and that in the 3rd month, he's ready to move forward for the next one, and that could definitely happen. What happens when you access the acceleration phase, which is the second phase? It has a mission by its own, as I said before, and it helps startups test the solution. Remember the first one, help startups nail the problem. Now that they understand all these basic root concepts of the thing they're doing, now we want them to test the solution. And that's when they get access to all the other resources that I mentioned before, after the negotiation, of course. And definitely I can go into very details. Every startup has a different behavior, different success metrics in terms of what they sell or what's important for them. However, very briefly, what's the output that we expect in this second phase? And it is that since you already had some small-scale sales, we expect you to have already a sort of business model that is working. And in a way, you are structuring that to be scalable. If today you have 100 customers and tomorrow you have 1,000 customers, you can sustain that demand. Another thing is that you entered with a minimum viable product, a first version. Now you have a tested version. That's something we expect in the phase 2. And the other thing is that we expect you to grow those success metrics. So in the first phase, what you did first was to generate small scale. And on the second one, you grew those success metrics. That could be units sold, or my business model is traffic, or whatever. We expect you to grow those. So at the end, you could be qualified for an annual investment. There's a private group called the Venture Club, and they basically focus their resources, their efforts in investing in startups, in startup-like companies. And their vision is to simply generate consciousness about why it is important to support these kind of companies, because in a way, these are the companies that generate the most impact, that generate the real change, the new version of the world, and they truly are committed on that. So that's about it. That's the acceleration program of the Innovation Center at City of Knowledge. Very briefly, I'm very sure that if you contact us, we will be able to meet and share more information and discuss. If you are a startup, an entrepreneur searching to start in Panama and grow from Panama, that definitely could happen with us, and we are definitely willing to help you. The basic things about this program is that we build this thinking a lot, not just about success stories. We really want to focus on giving the entrepreneurs their space, their freedom to go talk to customers, to get out there and to really solve problems. To close this presentation, our priority here, actually, what makes us different is that the entrepreneurs are not our final customer. Our main customer is the customer of the entrepreneur. And that's because we want to help the entrepreneur to focus on that customer and to make him happy, to create something they love and that they really need. So nailing the compatibility of what the entrepreneur has to offer with what the customer really needs is the most crucial, most important thing for us. And we want to provide the tools that the entrepreneur really need when they need it, to make it as flexible as possible from day one. And that's the way we believe we create an innovative society. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. You can contact us through the website that you're going to be able to see on the link. You can also access directly the Innovation Center at the City of Knowledge through our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, writing Crea Panama, which is in Spanish, but it's there in the slide. So that was it. Thank you very much, and we're definitely looking forward to answering any questions you have. Thank you.